My name is Samantha, and over the years, I have received countless desperate calls from people asking for my help. But this case was different because no one called me. For several nights during my meditation, I kept hearing the same weak, terrified voice repeating only two words: "Help me. Help me." I couldn't see a face. I didn't know the person's name. I had no idea whether the voice belonged to someone who was already dead or someone who was still alive. What I discovered next became one of the most terrifying and unbelievable investigations of my life, proving that sometimes the human soul can cry for help long before the world even realizes someone is missing. My name is Samantha, and I am a paranormal investigator. Since childhood, I have carried a gift that I never asked for, but have learned to accept with gratitude. During deep meditation, I sometimes hear voices that no one else can hear. I see fragments of memories that do not belong to me. Sometimes they belong to people who have passed away. Sometimes they belong to people who are still alive, but standing so close to death that their souls seem to wander beyond the limits of the human body. Over the years, this gift has helped me solve many impossible mysteries. But every new case reminds me that there are still countless things about life, death, and the human soul that we simply do not understand. This story began differently. No one called me. No desperate family knocked on my door. No police officer asked for my help. Instead, someone reached me from the darkness itself. One night, while meditating inside my apartment, I felt an unusual heaviness surrounding me. The room became colder than usual. Even the candle flames beside me stopped dancing, as if the air itself had frozen. Then I heard it, very faint, very weak, almost like a whisper carried by the wind. "Help me." I remained perfectly still. Again, the whisper came. "Help me." Nothing else. No name, no place, no face, just those two words. The voice sounded exhausted, almost as if speaking each word required every bit of remaining strength. The meditation suddenly broke. I opened my eyes. The room returned to normal. For several minutes, I simply sat there wondering whether I had imagined everything. The following evening, I meditated again. The same whisper returned. "Help me." This time, it was clearer. I could feel overwhelming fear behind those words, not the fear of ghosts, the fear of someone who desperately wanted to live. For nearly a week, the same thing happened every night. The whisper became slightly stronger. Eventually, the darkness surrounding the voice began to reveal images. At first, they appeared only as broken fragments: a massive, unfinished high-rise building, bare concrete pillars, broken windows, empty rooms. Then another image: a teenage boy carrying a small backpack climbing endless flights of stairs. The vision disappeared. The next night, another fragment appeared: the same young man finally reaching the rooftop. He smiled. The city stretched endlessly beneath him. Thousands of lights sparkled across the skyline. The wind blew through his hair. He looked peaceful. I realized this rooftop was his favorite place. Every few days, he secretly visited the abandoned building just to escape the noise of life and admire the city from above. The high-rise had once been a luxury apartment project. Construction had stopped almost a year earlier because of financial disputes. The workers had left. The machinery had been removed. Only unfinished concrete floors remained. Most people avoided the place, but curiosity had drawn the young man there again and again. During another meditation, I watched him begin his journey back downstairs. He slowly descended floor after floor. When he reached the 25th floor, he noticed one apartment whose door was standing slightly open. Curiosity overcame caution. He stepped inside. The apartment was completely empty. Only piles of cardboard, broken wooden planks, construction plastic sheets, and scattered cement bags remained. He looked around for less than a minute. Then he turned to leave. The door slammed shut. He pulled the handle. Nothing. He pulled harder. The faulty construction lock had jammed. He kicked the door. It refused to move. He shouted. Nobody answered. He searched every room. There were no tools, no emergency exit. The windows had no balconies. 25 floors below stretched nothing but empty ground. The nearest occupied road was hundreds of yards away.
Help me!
His voice disappeared into the wind before reaching anyone. Initially, he remained calm. He believed someone would eventually hear him.
Help
He
me!
shouted continuously. Hours passed. Evening became night. Nobody came. Inside his backpack, he found one bottle of water and a single family-sized bag of potato chips. He decided to ration everything carefully, only a few sips each day, only a handful of chips every several hours. The second day, he screamed until his throat became raw. He pounded the heavy metal door until his hands bled. Still, nobody came. The unfinished building stood like an empty giant forgotten by the city. Then, another vision showed me something heartbreaking. He gathered large pieces of cardboard left behind by construction workers. Using a permanent marker from his school bag, he wrote in huge letters, "Help me, 25th floor." One after another, he threw the signs from the broken windows, hoping someone below would notice. The wind carried most of them into nearby empty fields. None reached the road. Days continued passing. His water bottle became empty. He searched desperately. The plumbing had already been installed inside the apartment, but the building had never received a water connection. Every faucet was dry, every pipe silent. During another meditation, I saw dark clouds covering the sky. Rain began falling. The boy hurried to the bathroom. He removed the toilet tank lid and carefully cleaned the inside using pieces of his shirt. Then he positioned buckets, plastic sheets, and the empty toilet tank beneath the broken window to collect rainwater. That dirty rainwater became his only source of survival for several more days. As food disappeared, desperation forced him to do things he had never imagined. Pigeons occasionally flew through the broken windows. He trapped one using cardboard boxes and construction netting. With tears in his eyes, he killed it using a sharp metal rod. He lit a tiny fire using his lighter and broken wood scraps. The meat barely cooked, but hunger left him no choice. Later, he caught mice that wandered through the unfinished building. Every meal became another painful battle between survival and humanity. He searched abandoned construction materials for anything useful. He found loose electrical wire and twisted it into crude snares. He tore apart insulation foam to make a thin mattress against the freezing concrete floor. He stacked broken cement bags beneath the doorway to reduce the cold wind entering through the gaps. He even used shattered window glass as a mirror, flashing sunlight toward distant buildings in hopes someone would notice. No one did. One afternoon, he burned pieces of his t-shirt using his lighter. Black smoke drifted from the window. He waved the burning cloth desperately. The smoke disappeared into the endless skyline, unnoticed. His beard slowly grew. His clothes became filthy. His body became painfully thin. Time lost meaning. Days blended into nights. Then my meditation changed. I no longer saw him walking. He barely moved. He lay against the cold concrete wall, breathing slowly. His lips whispered only one sentence. "Help me." Again. "Help me." He wasn't shouting anymore. He didn't have the strength. He drifted between consciousness and unconsciousness. His heartbeat became weaker. The strange connection between us became stronger. Suddenly, I understood. The voice I had been hearing all week belonged to him. I immediately ended my meditation. This time, I knew it was real. Early the next morning, I contacted local police. Naturally, they were skeptical. How could I explain that someone trapped inside an abandoned building had reached me during meditation? Instead, I requested all recent missing person reports involving young males. Together, we studied every file. One report immediately caught our attention. A college student had disappeared nearly 2 weeks earlier. His family believed he had gone out alone one afternoon and never returned. His last known location placed his cell phone somewhere near several abandoned construction projects. Police compared the missing person map with unfinished high-rise buildings around the city. Only one matched perfectly. Ironically, it stood less than 15 minutes from my apartment. Emergency teams, firefighters, and police rushed to the location. The elevator had never been installed. Everyone climbed 25 exhausting flights of stairs. When they reached the apartment, silence filled the hallway. One officer shouted. No answer. They forced the metal door open. Inside, lying beside the window, was the young man, barely alive. His body was nothing more than skin and bones. His breathing was almost impossible to detect. The cardboard signs lay scattered across the room. Burn marks blackened the window frame. Feathers covered one corner. Tiny animal bones lay beside a crude fire pit. Rainwater remained inside the toilet tank. The room looked less like an apartment and more like the desperate battlefield of someone who had refused to surrender to death. Paramedics immediately carried him downstairs. He was rushed to the hospital. Doctors later admitted that only a few more hours would likely have ended his life. He remained in a coma for almost a month. During those weeks, I often wondered about the strange connection we had shared. One afternoon, I finally received a call from the hospital. The young man had awakened. A few days later, I visited him. He smiled weakly. His parents stood beside him with tears of relief. He thanked every police officer, every firefighter, and every doctor who had saved him. When we spoke privately, I gently asked him one question. "Do you remember asking me for help?" He looked confused. He slowly shook his head. "I don't even know you," he said softly. "The last thing I remember, I was trying to open that apartment door." Everything after that was completely blank. He remembered nothing about the whispers, nothing about the visions, nothing about the strange connection between us. As I left the hospital, one question remained inside my mind. During those final days, was his soul already leaving his body? Or had his desperate subconscious somehow reached mine while he hovered between life and death? Science may one day explain such mysteries. Or perhaps, some questions are simply meant to remain unanswered. Sometimes the line separating life from death is thinner than we can imagine. And sometimes, a desperate cry for help finds the one person who is meant to hear it. I am Samantha, and this was another journey beyond the sixth sense. Next episode, coming soon.
Beyond the sixth sense. Samantha closes her eyes, slow breath, sitting still in the dark. She can feel them cold air the six. Beyond the six.